Stadium lights glisten like disco balls. Quarterback flows dodging D-line walls. End zone dreams in the hearts of teams. Hustle on the field, ain't no in-betweens. As the football spirals, fate unravels. Heartbeats sink, players travel. Grind don't stop, whistle blows echo. Field warriors, the heroes echo. Cleats dig deep, turf beneath. Receivers leap like a midnight thief. Touchdown dances, crowd in trances. Game time magic, endless chances. As the football spirals, fate unravels. Heartbeats sink, players travel. Grind don't stop, whistle blows echo. Field warriors, the heroes echo. Coaches with plans, plays drawn in sand. Grit and sweat, team tighter than a band. Hail Mary hopes, defenders in scopes. Victory's a taste, better than a rope. Cheers rain loud, pride in the crowd. Moments freeze, memories of...
And hello, everybody, and welcome to As the Football Spirals. I do apologize. There was a live button I had to push on the YouTube, so I've done the show like 3 times already, and third time a charm, I guess, is what they say, right? So, just kind of want to go over with you guys today just how the name As the Football Spirals kind of, came to fruition. So, I've been in semi-pro football and football pretty much my whole life, but semi-pro for roughly 25 years, I think. I'd say 20-something years. And obviously I met my wife, and we're talking, and I'm talking football. And then she's like, you have so much drama. I mean, you should make a soap opera called As the Football Spirals. And thought that was an amazing name. So hence, here it is. But I have to give her credit because she's the one that really came up with the name of that. So that's how it came to be. And I thought it's a really cool name. And I know there's a lot of drama that does go on in the semi-pro world, and you bring home to your household. So if there's girlfriends, wives, just bear with the people that are on. Overall, we are going to have some fun, and that's kind of what this show is all about, is having fun. I do want to let you guys know I want to be interactive as much as possible. There is a message, so you write down messages. Let me know what you guys think. Ask questions. I'm going to try to get back to people on answer all the questions that we have, and really be interactive. I really want to just bring the semi-pro world closer together, and I think this is a great avenue for that. So that's kind of like my mission. But today I'm very happy to announce that I have a special guest with us on the show. It's going to be Bailey Brewer from the Boston Chargers. And Bailey, I'm going to bring you in right now. And how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Awesome.
Doing great. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. So I can't believe it's Wednesday already. It's like, whoa, what happened? But it was a little rough start. Like I said, we had the show about 3 times on that. So thanks for bearing with me. I didn't know there's a button I had to push on YouTube. So now I know. And we should be good. But yeah, how's your day going today?
My day is great. Once I clock out, I forget everything I was doing during the day. So it's right back to where it's supposed to be, football.
There you go. Right. I just wish we could do football all day long. That's pretty much our lives, just football. And being a owner of a team, and there is a lot that we do, and a lot of because I was a former owner. Just so you guys that don't know who I am, I owned the Taunton Gladiators, owned the Marshfield Hurricanes. So I've been an owner a long, long time, and teams I've owned has been pretty successful. And I think a lot of players don't really take for granted how much you really put into a team. And there's so much that goes involved. And the thing is, you can't do it all alone. So, Billy, my first question for you is, what made you want to get into, being an owner of a semi-pro football team?
Okay, well, this isn't my first year. So I would consider this my first year as sole owner, but this is 2 years in. Honestly, I got into the game, I'll say about 2020, around the time when COVID was just about to hit. And all the guys that I have been around or I've met, they were like, there's this need in semi-pro, but, nobody's filling the void. And the biggest thing and common denominator was brotherhood. And for me, I just realized, there was a lot of stuff that wasn't brotherhood like. community, having a sense of supporting each other, um, being fair, and I've always been the kind of person where I'm a good mediator, but I also bring everybody together. So um, when I got to the Boston Chargers my first year, I was co-owning with Romero Holiday, who started the team, and my husband Tex. And there was definitely a lot of things I discovered. So I got the keys to the team for myself this year, and it's honestly been soaring. I think for me, the biggest reason why I got into this is to revitalize the brotherhood, which is my campaign for 2025.
Love that. And it's funny because like as semi-pro football, I look back at my life just doing it, and I got married. My best man I met from football. My best friends all from football, and it's like that camaraderie and that brotherhood that you talk about. It really is unmatched, and there's really no other sport out there that can really have that camaraderie. Like football, you need that to have a championship team, and so for you to bring that in, that's awesome. I'm happy to hear that. That's really good stuff. So I know last year you guys had a rough season, but one thing, especially going on in the semi-pro world, a lot of upsets have been happening where like big dogs are actually losing, and it's like, what's going on with that? So every year is different, and that's one thing that there's times where we come out and we're like, we're gonna win the championship, and then our team goes like 1 for 9. You're like, what do we do? And it's one of those years, And then there's other years you're like, I think we're gonna win a championship, because you always think in week one you're gonna win, and then you actually do, and you make the playoffs, and you go through, and just the every year is different, and I guess the hope of winning a championship is always high on every single team week one. What do you think you did differently this year than last year? What are you gonna what would you say there?
Honestly, I think it took to kind of pay attention. So I think a lot of us as owners, sometimes we don't really pay attention to everything that's going on. There were a lot of places for me where I was watching over the summer and last spring. Semi-pro had a lot of voids, and the voids I'm talking about is kind of like organizational wise. The politics kind of took over the football aspect. For me, I look at semi-pro like, okay, you guys say this is a pay-to-play league, so for me, business aspect wise, all right, I'm the boss. At the same time, you guys are the clients. I also have to give you what you need. So I think the biggest difference right now is a lot of guys are starting to see the politics that are going on, starting to see the changes, and that sometimes, although we would all love to have that ring, it's honestly about where you're going to have fun all season.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's really building, like you said, building that brotherhood and having fun, and it's kind of like a follow-up question to that is what would you say would be a successful season, even if you don't win a championship? Like, what would you consider being successful?
Successful for me with a team, even if we don't win, is that everybody left saying, this was a good moment, or this was a good moment, or I'm not even mad that we didn't get a ring, but the next year, this is what we have to do. And it's not negative replies that I would get back, but it's more so seeing the players actually thinking. Like right now, I have a lot of players who have been in the game for a long time, but they didn't get the push or they didn't get the opportunity. And I see them and they're in the gym. They're really working hard, or they're helping somebody else out on their skill set. And for me, I think that's the biggest part of it. That's where success is coming from, because now in the player's mind, I know now what I have to do next. Mm-hmm. So it's a constant thing that's going on.
Yeah, and
that is success.
Yeah, and that's awesome. You think that, because oftentimes I tell guys it's not always the destination; it's mostly the journey that really makes it why you do what we do. My very first year playing, I played for the South Shore Outlaws in 2003. We ran a play called the Outlaw. If anybody's on here, you guys will know what that is. And basically is a double reverse pass and we're playing the Connecticut Thunder. We stop them 3-and-out the first drive, then they punt it, ball's on the 1 yard line. The coach like, yeah, still run it, because we said we're going to run that in practice. and it was just it was awful. We ended up getting blown out like 56 nothing, something crazy like that. And in 2005, that same core guys, so we had 16, 15, 16 core people, brought that team to the championship. Didn't win that championship, but it's still great to be there, and it was really cool to have that. From going to the bottom of the barrel to really building together, building with friends and teammates, and and like I said, that quarterback that year is still my best friend. I talk to him every single day, and it's just really cool to have that growth as a team. And you can only do that getting players buying into your organization, in my opinion. So, as for the season this year, I know you had a scrimmage or a jamboree the other day, and you said it really well, which is awesome. How did I'm not going to say how you did. I want to keep that kind of quiet. But let's talk about your week one. So week one is 2 weeks away, or not even 10 days away now, March 15th. And it's going to be you have a game at
East Boston Memorial Stadium.
Okay, East Boston Memorial. Now I want to talk a little bit about what's going on that day with everything, and we can kind of go from there and just kind of plug it as best you can with everybody.
Oh, yeah. So first home game for the Boston Chargers, East Boston Memorial Stadium, and I couldn't be more excited. I mean, our squad is looking amazing. If people didn't see the pictures, didn't see the videos, go check out the Boston Chargers page. But this game is going to be even more better. And why do I say that? Because week one for ECFL, we have a double header right at Boston Chargers home field. So first kickoff is at 1 o'clock. It's going to be Boston Chargers versus the Rhode Island Ducks. I'm excited for that. You guys get to see the new uniforms I designed. You get to see all the new players that are outside. And you know me, and if you don't know, we always have fun. So there will be food. Of course, there will be juice boxes for the kids, but it will really be kind of like a family gathering. That's the kind of atmosphere that I bring. And you always see me, and I guess you'll consider me Big Mama, and Big Mama will always have your back. Come have some fun. But then we hit you with the second part. So best part of it all, what everybody's been waiting for, you guys will get your double header with a 7 p.m. kickoff. I believe I'll still have to talk to the owners, but we secured it this morning. Warhawks versus the Cards.
That's gonna be
on the Boston Chargers field.
That's gonna be an amazing game, huh?
So. Oh yeah, that one is. I know everybody's waiting for it.
Yeah. So your game's at 1, and then they're at 7.
So they do want a night game. I want to wait for both owners to let me know what they agree on for a kickoff time, since we did get this all together this morning. But it is going to be there. Yeah. So if you guys are not there, you better get there.
Yeah. Sounds like an amazing day overall. And you said that I remember talking to you before. Is the city doing something like a parade or something going on that next day, or?
Well, Boston Chargers are booked and busy, Fassetti, so that Sunday, if you guys don't have anything to do, we will be doing the St. Patrick's Day Parade. So we were going to wait to drop it, but Fassetti is my favorite, so he always gets the first plug. Boston Chargers will be doing the St. Patrick's Day Parade. This is going to be humongous for us. And as everybody is kind of seeing, our organization has flourished. The numbers, the new uniforms, and so that weekend is going to be a jam-packed weekend of fun, and I just hope that we represent ECFL well.
I no doubt. I mean, I know you're going to dominate that and represent well, and the little things that you're doing like this, Bailey, is what championship owners do. And the biggest thing is building. You have a staff around you, you have a lot of support around you, and that's what I feel that great organizations need. And you're right there in the city. Like you are the Boston Chargers, and like you're really the only show in town in Boston for the spring. So you keep doing what you're doing, players are going to gravitate towards you, and that's what it's all about. And building that long-term relationship with everybody, and really having just really a great having great experience for the place. Anybody can play for any team, but your job is to why do they want to play for you. And that's kind of the best thing. So,
That's the big thing too, Facetti. For a few years now, we've been doing something called the Turkey Bowl, and I've realized the demographic that we're getting of these guys, these players, they're coming from everywhere. New York, Vermont, Connecticut, out here, and they love what I put on because everything I put on is positive and peaceful, and it's just football.
Yep.
And I really hope that for this season and this year of semi-pro football, it's about the football part. Like nothing more, nothing less. But when you come over here on my side of the neck of the woods, you get football.
Yeah, love that. And what would you say separates you from really all the other teams out there in the world? Why if I was a player, what would make me say let's go play for the Chargers?
Because I'm fair. I mean, I'll say it like this. When you come to the Boston Chargers, you're coming to an organization that represents family fun and football. You're welcome. We'll work with you on whatever level you're on. Your family is welcome. I have the ladies with me all the time, like, hey, and the kids, I get called auntie all the time from a player to a child. It's fun. And when you come here, it's nothing crazy. And we work with you. We have players now that we work with on things in their personal life, things with their skills. If they have goals that they want to aspire to do further out of football on the national level, we give you that option to play in national games, to be seen. So when you come over here, and what our difference is we actually formatted off this family fun football. And that's all that we want to give to you is the opportunity for your family to see that you're still playing this game and that you can still do it and that you have something that every weekend you're dedicating yourself to. And when you get on that 50-yard line, you know that you have a squad behind you. We're really unified, and for me, I think that's the biggest reason why a lot of guys came. They seen the vision, and I've given them nothing but visions that have manifested perfectly where they felt comfortable.
That's awesome, and it's really good to have that that motivation, that mentality for players to have to go there and have that. And I love when I have a question I was going to say, and then I forgot I was going to ask you. I had a great follow up question with that, but I'll have to think of something else. But it's really cool to have that. So what was the biggest reason why? I mean, there's other leagues out there, and the Chargers have been around. What do you like about the ECFL that we have, the league that we have?
Well, for me, when I was picking leagues, it was really based off of with the players, because I have a lot of players that have been in all these leagues for a long period of time, and although I'm not new, I'll say I'm not 10 years, 15 years seasoned, and I could get a million different opinions, but I have to feel it out for myself. So I think for us, when we were picking a league as an organization, we wanted to pick somewhere that geographically it made sense because we're rebuilding based off of course, the Chargers didn't have the best stats. Everything wasn't 100%. So this for us was like our baby step year. And I mean, man, we moved to like toddler really fast, and I was not prepared. So we're not in our terrible twos, we're in our great twos. ECFL was the one for us. We had comp here that we still wanted to face. And for us, this kind of became like our home. And we just weren't going to leave our home without fulfilling our goals. And I really don't think we ever are at this point.
Yep.
So I think for us, that's what it was. This is home. We stay home. And that's even families, when they have issues, we still stick around.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. So I know that we had a scrimmage. You guys had a scrimmage last weekend, and a lot of good stuff happened. Probably the highlight of the scrimmage is someone who's played about 5 years of football, and she got her first sack. So I want to talk about Bianca. How I know you when I talked to you on the chats, I couldn't really tell how excited. Like I could tell you were excited, but you said you missed it because you had obviously, as known, you're doing a bunch of other stuff there. But how excited were you when that happened and you got that information?
Well, like I said under the comments, I felt like a proud mother. So I met Bianca 2 years ago. We were doing during the first year Turkey Bowl, and she joined Turkey Bowl, and I was surprised because I was not aware that there was a woman in men's semi-pro.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she of course joined Team Tex, but I wish she chose my team first year, but she did switch this past year, and she said, "Look, you know everything about football. You know everything that's going on. Where should I go?" And I was like, "Well, at this point, just call me a manager." So I became Bianca's manager, and that's been my title. And so, come spring, she said, "All right, where am I going?" And I said, "I don't know why you're asking. You know where to go."
Yeah.
So when I've seen her putting in the work that I feel is well deserved, despite her previous semi-pro experiences and not getting a chance, because I'm a big person with a success story. I felt like a proud mother. Like all the work that we've been putting in year by year, it finally came to fruition with her first sack. Unfortunately, I was on the grill, but I seen it from a distance. I couldn't record it, so I was very proud. A lot of unfortunately, we know the business. A lot of women don't get the props that they deserve, but I think that's changing this year. I think we're switching some things up. So that's somebody, a player that people need to watch out for. That girl has something great manifesting in her, and it's coming out this season, whether they like it or not.
That's awesome to hear, and I hope she absolutely dominates. And definitely a great story because you see that this is a mostly guys league, and you're gonna have a bunch of men, and then they're like, oh my gosh, a girl got past me and sacked the quarterback. Like I just love that. That's awesome. So I hope she goes out, gets many more. I can't wait to watch it. It's just a great story. And it's just great that that's what we're given the opportunities for. And you think about like as owners, that's the stuff that makes you feel good. I had a player as well. I had a player as well. I actually missed his touchdown because I wasn't at the game. I missed like 3 games total in my life and career, and this is one I missed. And he's been with us every single year back in the Hurricanes, and scored a touchdown, I think, against one of the Boston teams that I forget who it was back then. Was this maybe Boston Panthers? I forget. But anyways, he scored, and like that stuff as an owner, as a coach, just adds something that could we invest a lot of time in these guys. Like they are our family, and that's what a lot of people say, like family. And I really do believe that the sport does build family, and that's why us as owners, we're putting a great product out, but seeing that come to culmination where they're getting their first sack or getting their first touchdown or whatever it happens to be, is just there's really no substitute for that. It's the greatest feeling in the world. So Bianca, if you're listening, great job out there. Congratulations, and can't wait to watch you get many more. So.
Oh yes, definitely. We're proud. Yeah. Keep it up.
very, very proud. So you're playing the Ducks week 1. What's your Ducks? Very, very good team, and from what I can recall, I've coached a lot of those guys that have played there, so I know a little bit about them. Very, very good team. I don't want predictions. I'm not going to do that to you or anything like that. But having a home game, I think, should help you guys, which is good. We have the Ducks. I think they're ranked in the top 5 on my scrolling that I have on here. I don't know if you can see that. But just as a preseason rankings, I think they went to the semifinals last year. What do you tell your team going into a game against a very good opponent? What maybe not you yourself, but the coaches, like how's the mindset going into this?
So. Well, honestly, my coaches are awesome. Like, I love my staff. And some things may come off a little derogatory because they curse, but it's a good curse. So I think for all of us, our biggest thing when we go to an opponent is like, they seem good, and they might be good, but F them up. That's our line this year. F them up. Go get them. Like, go chase after it. Like, this is your baby. And that's our biggest thing this year. All of us. I think we're all on the same page. OC, Tex as our head coach, defensive coach, our wide receiver coach, Lee, Coach Rob with the linemen. We're all like, go F them up. So when it comes to that, we are the biggest motivators. We are the hype men every time.
That's awesome. it's good to have that, and definitely want to go f them up, which is which is good. I do think, as like I said earlier, every year is different, and you're getting new players and new faces, and building new bonds with players, and um, they might be coming in saying, oh, how'd you guys finish last year? If you don't mind, did you get a couple
Um,
wins or
I think we had one or two
yeah?
winning games out of last season. It wasn't. I won't say it wasn't successful, but we definitely needed to grow from that. So we didn't make it to a championship, but we did make it somewhere, and that
Yeah.
was the most important part. So that was our record. I think we had to be about 2 or 3, and I know my
Yeah.
players will correct me if I'm wrong. So don't yell at me.
No yelling, no yelling. So when having a tough season, there's many times, like I said, I've had 1 to 9 seasons, and it's always tough to keep people together. But that family atmosphere that you're building, that camaraderie, that they're willing to go into the trenches with you. Those are the players that are going to help take your team to a different level. And having those core guys that's what I recommend on keeping. You want to make sure those core guys are there so they build with you, and you have a really good successful season. And um, the biggest thing is what I find in this level is adversity always happens. Things happen. People get um, frustrated with a loss or whatever, and you can tell by a real leader if they're real by stepping up in adversity instead of quitting. Because anybody can be a leader when you're winning. Like it's great to win. Everybody's happy. The true colors show when you're actually down in the dump. So like I remember my last year coaching. We played Mill City, and we lost like in the regular season. We lost like 48-28, something stupid like that. Like it was just a blowout game. It was our second game of the season. We had a group of people who came in that year, and trying to get everybody working together was the toughest thing to do. Um, but they bought into the system. They bought into the camaraderie. They bought into what we're doing, and they're great athletes, and we're able to really take it that notch and end up winning the championship. But like, I don't. I think if we like squeaked by and won that game, we wouldn't have been as strong because we wouldn't have faced that adversity early on the year. That's when you can tell is all right. This guy's a competitor. This guy's not. And so sometimes it's good to go back to White Men Can't Jump. I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie. When you go, sometimes you win, you really lose, and sometimes when you lose, you really win. Like that time, I felt like we lost, but we really won because we got really true character of a team, and really got to build from there. It was really neat to watch a team grow throughout the season, and having new people. That's kind of something that I think you're looking forward to. Is like, how are we going to overcome adversity? And adversity happens in a game. It's like first quarter you fumble, and it's like, oh shit, that's what I call sudden change. Like, guys, sudden change, get out there, don't worry about it. They're probably going to throw a deep ball for a touchdown. That's what most people do when you cause a turnover. So it's when they get a turnover, they take a shot because it's a free play. Take a shot. So all you Chargers watching, make sure you guys know that. Don't if you have a sudden change, don't, like, a lot of times people are down. That's why they take shots, because people are like, oh, what the heck, you can't get a first down, you can't do this, and they're fighting against each other, and that's the stuff that other teams will, good teams will capitalize on, and that's why there's teams like the Admirals. I know they were very similar to that. They got better when things were bad. I mean, look at I don't know if you saw the championship game, the AAA championship game last year, but I mean, they had 6 seconds left and they throw a Hail Mary and win a game. It's like insane. So that's just when you're down in the dumps, that's where you tell true character. So I don't know where I'm going with this, but I'm probably gonna go somewhere with it. So
I was kind of with you because I'm like, my boys, even for the scrimmage, they started talking to themselves, knowing that they made a mistake or knowing they did this. And they don't think I pay attention. I pay attention to all of that.
yep,
So I'm like, okay. So it's not going to be like, some teams, I won't say us, but like some teams, they kind of have that crash out player behavior. And I'm like, okay, so yeah, we're good because he's over here like, I messed that one up. I have to go fix that. Or, oh, what did I do wrong, coach? This, that, and the third. Or how could I fix this? I like to hear that because I will evaluate myself, but they evaluate themselves. And when they go back out there, they soar.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be more prouder. And just to see that off of the scrimmage this weekend made me even more reassured that, hey, you got this, we got this as a united front.
Yeah.
And so that is hard. A lot of players do, some players do have to understand, even when you lose, that anger is not going to help you. But when you look back at that film, you're going to see your mistakes. Are you going to evaluate yourself, or are you going to find an excuse on why it happened?
That's exactly. It's too many people, they try to make excuses, and it's like you got to be accountable. And I think as an owner, it's as a coach, because I was an owner and a coach, so I had the worst part of everything. So for me, it was, as a head coach, I would just show them video, and I always say the eye in the sky doesn't lie. And why ain't I playing? Well, let's watch this clip right here. Can't be doing that stuff. So I remember, I don't know if he's on here, but Terrence Gomes has always told me, he goes, whenever you're watching film and you say, you got to be a better athlete than that. He was like, I always just hated that, because it's like, you just got to be a better athlete. You can't just let that stuff happen that way. But I think if a team can accept that constructive criticism, then those are the type of guys you want, the people who can get better when they mess up. And I don't know if you found that, too in your on your team. Like, do you guys hold?
Definitely
Yeah.
have.
And,
I kind of put the pieces of the puzzle in line where the players had coaches that understand exactly what they're feeling or what they're thinking.
yeah.
Because all of my coaches have been in semi-pro for about 10 plus years or longer. So when they're coaching, it's coming from a place of, yes, I'm your coach, and I'm going to tell you what way to go from my own mistakes. So
Right.
it's like you're looking kind of like at the mirror in a way, like, okay, I see this blemish and this blemish, so I need to teach you this before we even get to that point. And honestly, that's why I love my coaching staff, because they have been on it even in practices. And I will sit there and say, hey, what about this player? What do you think about this player? Oh, well, I'm working with them on this, and I was just talking to them more. So it's constant communication. Like, my support system with my staff is amazing. And I think it's been resembling and kind of coming through with the players as well, because they're not talking to somebody that just hopped in and said, hey, I'm going to be a coach. It's been people they've been with on the field.
Yeah. So who's the head coach now on your squad?
So head coach has remained the same. It's going to be Coach Tex,
Okay.
my husband. So defensive coach and head coach, he's been taking it on, and that's been the best part.
Yeah.
And so other than that, our special team coach, we pulled out Reginald Hobbs
Oh.
from the Bombers and stuff like that. And so he's been with us for a minute and actually been a past Charger. And right now for our OC, we have Mr. Eric Lott, who has been around since been around.
Yep.
And that's been great. And as for our wide receiver coach, Coach Lee Cofield, which I've known him since we were kids, but he's been in semi-pro for a long period of time. And, of course, Rob Baker as well as one of our coaches for the linemen. And that boy there, he has been, like, my number one right hand. So every coach that we have here has been here for 10 years. And they kind of all work well together because they've all been around each other for a long period of time.
Yeah. And I know all those coaches, and they're all good people. And I feel like when you have that, for me, I'm someone in business and football and anything you do, you just want to be around good people. As I said in the meeting, if you want to, you don't want to hang around bad people. Like, if you want to fly like if you want to soar like an eagle, stop hanging with the turkeys, right? So you always want to be with those good people that can, bring that atmosphere that you're looking for, because the positivity will permeate throughout the team. And I know, like with Baker and Lee and Eric Lott, like, they're all positive people. They're all good people. I think Lott is, like you said, he's been around since being around is a thing, right? So I love that saying. So you have a really good squad. It's going to be exciting to watch you guys, because I feel like you guys are one of those teams that, people might consider you middle of the road, but you could be that upset team that could, challenge a lot of teams out there. So it's going to be very, very.
I told you the scrimmage scores. So I'm not going to put it out there, but I told you the scrimmage scores.
Yep.
I don't know. We might just cause an upset all season. I don't want to pre-predict anything. I just want our work to show. But You might be onto something for City. I don't know.
One game at a time. That's what I used to tell my
One game at a
guys. One game at a time. That's all you got to focus on. Um, cool. And other than that, let's see if anybody's left any questions for us on here.
Of course.
Not really, actually. So someone used to be a water boy. He's now a Charger, though. And Bianca says thank you so much. So hey, keep doing what you're doing. You'll be getting a lot of accolades. So good job out there. Yeah, not really any questions for us. I know. What questions do you have for me? Do you have any questions for me as a?
Well, I don't know, Fassetti. I mean, you just kind of popped out the woodwork on us as a commissioner. How are you feeling?
It's a lot to take in. Yeah, Jim called me, just kind of, needed someone to, kind of step up in the situation that we were in as a league, and I was like, sure. And like for me, and I told you this in the meeting, if I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, and I don't want to do it just half-ass. I'm going to do it great. Like I'm pissed I didn't get what I wanted to do on this. I had like a nice graphic for you as well. I was gonna put over your name and all this stuff, and it's but things happen in life, and I just couldn't do what I wanted to with that. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep focusing on trying to improve the league as best as I can, and I coming in, got the schedule right away. I know we have a great summer league as well, and yeah, just really looking forward to really having a great spring, and have this not only be a great spring, but the best spring the ECFL has ever had. And if that's me doing some broadcasting, like you said, maybe I'll jump on the microphone. And I'm kind of camera shy, though. I don't know if you know that. No, I'm just kidding. I'll be more than happy to do that. Like, I think it's great. What I want to do with this show is I kind of want to make this more of a highlight show in the future. So once the games get started, I want to get videos. I want to be like, kind of like a mini sports center type thing, and do like a nice little show, and I'm just trying to think where we can go with this. I think this can really be utilized, being a really great experience for just the semi-pro world as well, because like that's what I think you and I both have the same vision, where we want to give people the ability to play football in the game that they love, but we also want to make sure that they're being watched by their friends and family, and having like that, just bringing people together. It's kind of like I think the overall reason why people want to do this. So that's really cool. And other than that, let's see if there's any other questions for us. So no one's posting any questions. So how many sacks do you think Bianca's going to get this year?
Well, I know in the WFA she had 5, so
wow, okay.
I told her at this point I'd be happy with about maybe 7. I'll give you 8. If you go to 10, then I mean you're golden. But
that's
I'm
awesome.
definitely gonna push her for that 10. I'm a pusher for 10.
There you go.
She's gonna work. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and how excited is it to? Well, who would be, and I don't know if you want to say this, if you don't want to, just tell me you don't want to know, but who would be your most exciting player to watch for the year?
And that's just on my organization, or
Correct. For your organization, yeah.
That's a hard one, Fassetti. I have a few already.
Okay.
I'll say this. So for the scrimmage, there was one player that I was watching.
Mm-hmm.
And I already gave him a nickname. So for me, a lot of people know if I give you a nickname, that is kind of like the blessing. Like I'm the Pope. I just bless you. So I gave this one player, he was previously on the Bombers. His name was Kevin Wade. And I gave him the blessing of giving him a nickname based off of the scrimmage and his work. And I didn't really see him before last summer, and kind of like what his skills were and what he could do. So scrimmage came and he moved like lightning. Like everything that he did was just tearing everything up for the betterment. And so something in me told him to call him Jack Jack. So I did. Just like
from the superhero movie there, that
The Incredibles.
Incredible. Yeah, that's I watching my kids once. That's funny, Jack Jack, and
I
like.
called him Jack Jack, and you know what? He took that name on with pride, and I'm glad, because a lot of people, they get nicknames, and so for him, he was a player that I definitely watched for the scrimmage, and he surpassed my idea of exactly where he was going to go. I knew he would be successful, but my God, like 10 out of 10. So he was on my watch last week. My players know every week somebody is going to get watched. Bianca, you're my consistent watch, and I know you're watching. So for all my players, I'm watching each and every one of you guys equally. But everybody knows our system right now is that there will always be an honorary captain each week. So we're giving out that fun incentive. So do your jobs like I'm doing mine, and I'll be watching. But
Awesome.
I don't have anybody definitive.
Absolutely. So the I don't think there's anything better as a coach or owner to see someone just really progress throughout their career. And there's always guys like I remember when have you ever do you remember Jeremy Chumak down in I had in Taunton way back in 2009? Maybe not. He's old now, so
I didn't
you
get
might
the
not know.
game until 2018.
All
So
right. He he was
it's
on
been
the
a
back
while.
nine. I hope he watches this. He might have been on the back nine back then. So the Chewy went. We had him at tight end for the that first year. First year, second year. First year he was at tight end with us, and every now and then we'll just put him at running back, and he'll just make plays, and you're like, wow, this kid's pretty good. And we had another kid, Mike Massey, who was an amazing running back as well. And when I remember when I first saw Chewy, he did not know how to get in a football stance. Like in I should say the stance, a normal stance I would have. He was a running back at Bristol Plymouth. They had the guy's stance a little different, but basically he played fullback. By having him at tailback, anyways, long story short, the year we won the championship, he was the team MVP, championship MVP. Rushed for like 175 yards that game with 3 touchdowns. He was just like he was on beast mode, and it's like, wow, we had this kid the whole time at tight end, and he should have been playing running back the whole time. So it's but Massey was really good. Massey got hurt, and we had like, all right, now Chewy's chance, And I feel like a lot of players nowadays they don't want to wait for their chance; they just want their chance right away. And I feel like
Yeah.
newer owners and coaches they need to let the players know like, hey, this is like you got to earn your spot. Everybody's earned their spot unless you go to a team that's not. So that's what like I joined a team. To be honest with you, when I was at a bar, I was drinking. Someone was like, "Hey, want to play semi-pro football?" I was like, "I can't play. I'm gonna get my ass kicked. I can kick though. I kicked in high school. Like I had no clue what it was about. I'm thinking like NFL players, and I show up to practice as a kicker, and I'm like." Shit, I'm better than half these people on the field. Like, I can play this sport. Like, I can definitely do it. And I went in, I got hooked. I feel like um, some people that hear semi-pro, they just think like they think one of two things. One, they think of like, oh, beer league, I don't want to play that. Or two, oh, I don't know if I'm good enough to play that. Like that, they might be really good. Like I might get killed. And it's really neither of those. And I think the whole like, when I first started in the semi-pro world, that's what it's called. Oh, it's a beer league. It's like softball but football. And I always had the mentality where nothing is semi except for the practices, because everything you do as an owner, everything you do as coaching, and everybody there, like you still work out all the time as a player. The only semi is the actual practices. We don't practice 5 days a week, and that's why we're semi. And if we can get that mentality out, like, hey, let's go out and be like professional football players and treat this as professional sport, I feel like the landscape will change, and players need to understand like, hey, this coach feels that that person's better than you, and like sometimes that happens, and you just have to. And there are some teams that play favorites, so I'm not going to discredit that, but for the most part, when you're coaches, like you're not playing favorites, you're playing people that you can trust because you've been in that situation before, and you can trust them, and that's why you're playing the people who are on the field. So you have to earn that coach's trust to get on the field, I guess. So did I explain that okay?
I,
That's pretty good.
I agree
Yeah.
100%. Like, for me, with my experience, like I said, I've been to the national games. Shout out to Rob Escobar and Kevin Palmer for Team Colorado that puts this on. And I realized, like, it was crazy the way that these guys join together, the way that they travel, and how he has his team put together and through his longevity in his career, you know, I don't really see a lot of the politics that we have out here out there. And it could be different, but who's going to change it? And I notice a lot of players have this thing where I'm going to play this position, that's the only position I play, and they're not good at it. But if they had given themselves the chance or said, hey, you know what, let me be open to anything else, they could soar elsewhere. And so that's our biggest thing this year. We told players, like, hey, if you're not happy with your position, you know, the first 2 practices, show us something different. Some moved around, some stayed the same, but the energy is still there. So being fair, honestly, in this business is big, because I will say this, and one of my main goals over time is to make sure that New England football, for us in our division, is way well more represented. I've been literally drove from here all the way to Vegas and back, and I've seen Texas teams, old XFL players, old NFL players, and the name of the game is still the same. If I go to this team, am I going to be able to utilize my skills?
Mm-hmm.
Same with Texas football. It's always that point. And that's all that I want to bring here. Put our name up in there. It doesn't matter what team it is. Put our name up in there. Would I be happy if it was the Chargers, because I'm obviously biased? Of course. But we definitely need that. And unfortunately, the politics are just that. But hopefully they will get to a place where it's for the betterment. Mm-hmm. And the players actually get something fair out of it, learn something new, and we bring that aspect back. And quite frankly, Facchetti, I just have to give you your flowers, because you are bringing that aspect back, whether you know it or not.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's like I said, I love the sport. I love the game, and being away from it for a year, it's something I missed. So it was a no-brainer to come back and help out in any capacity. So I'm glad I'm here. I'm hoping we can keep growing it the way that we can grow, and it takes, as a commissioner, I'm going to rely on owners to really step it up. And like, my job is to get you guys, all your owners, to be the best in the business, so we can be, we can be great. Like, I'm going to be really focusing on building the league on just like I did my teams, and I'm out there. I'm doing some really cool stuff. If it happens, it's going to be amazing. And I don't ever want to say anything, because one thing about me is I don't promise anybody anything. I always say you got to earn it. And I'll never tell a team hey, I promise that we're going to give you a home game against the Chargers. I wouldn't say something like that. It's I'll see what I can do. I don't promise it, because if I promise something and I don't come through, for me, my word is everything. So if I try to promise something and I don't do it, then my word from now is nothing. And I know that one day when I'm no longer here, I want people knowing he was a man of his word. He did it, and he said it, and he did it, and that's kind of how I want. So for me, promising things, I don't my wife even today. Can you promise you're gonna be home? I'm like, nope, I can't promise I'll be home at that time. I'll do everything I can, but I can't promise. Doesn't really go over that well, but it's for me. I just don't want to, unless I'm 100%. If I'm 99%, I still won't promise. If I'm 100%, then that's the only time I'll promise something. So I feel like being truthful and setting proper expectations is really will drive this league being successful. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And I do want to just reply to Ace Time 617. Don't know who that is, but yes, I 100% coached head case Al Casey. I love him. One of my favorite. Actually, all my plays are favorite, but head case was amazing. He was. I wonder how he's doing. He's got to be up there now, because he was my age, I think, 20 years ago. So, but yeah, I don't know who that is. Who Ace one? He said he was a water boy for the Gladiators, and then so I'm assuming I know him. But do you know who that is by any chance, Bailey? The Ace 1 time 617.
Ace 1 time 617.
Yeah. So you gotta be a Boston boy. Yeah, but we'll figure it out. I just find it funny when I see. I'm actually looking at Casey. Let's see. I have my
You know
Gladiator.
what? That actually might be my player, and I'm believe if he's good. That's my grandfather. Oh, Ace, you should have said that first, sweetie. Yes, that's one of my players. So he's a
Nice.
new boo on our side of the track, and I'm excited for his growth as well.
Yeah,
You That's one to watch out and look for as well.
Ace Casey. Well, I will be. If you're anything like your father, you're going to be a heck of a ball player. I'm a grandfather. You say grandfather? Oh my
Grandfather,
gosh.
yes.
So Al, he was. I am right. I'm actually trying to find him. I have a picture of my championship season for the Gladiators, and I see Mark, but I don't see Al. I think he wore number 90 for me, um, but I don't see him in the picture. If I no, that's Ty. If I saw him, I was going to pick it up for you and show you. But I'll get. I got some nice pictures of him. If you need it, I'll pass them along to you. But yeah, he was an amazing person. I love how he come head case. It's just I love them, and you know his. There's everybody there was just amazing. So Ace, I'll be watching you now.
Oh
Hopefully,
yeah.
hopefully, you know I can see if I see Al at the games as well, and that'll be awesome. So it's really cool to see like oh, you guys 90 jersey. That's awesome. It's really cool to see. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how cool it is to see grandkids of people I used to coach. I mean, that's getting me old. Like, oh gosh, how old am I now?
You're
But
just wiser. You're not older. You're
I'm wise.
wiser.
Yes, yes. Put a bud in front of that, and I'll be happy. Budweiser. Sorry, that's
Yeah.
my dad joke of the day. Cool, but yeah, Al was amazing. I loved him. I love him. He's great. Hopefully, we'll see him again on at the games. But if you can get the start time, since 1 o'clock's gonna be a kickoff time on the 15th right now. Then
Yep,
okay.
1 o'clock for the Chargers, and then once Shivers and I believe Bob Coat,
Yep.
they let me know their agreement on what they want to do for a kickoff time. They have the field from 5 to 10, so they can do whatever they want.
Perfect. Yeah, it's gonna be a great game.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'm excited, and I'm gonna get there a little late because I do have to work that day. Unfortunately, I'm down the Cape, and I'm gonna try to head up to that game and probably catch the second half of it. And I'm really looking forward to, you know, watching you guys, the Ducks. I mean, it's gonna be
Oh
still those
yeah.
are two great games, and I feel that people don't know how important, or not how important they look at that schedule. They're like, yeah, I mean, the Ducks should take care of the Chargers, but I'm telling you, it's going to be a different year. And even don't know if you're reading the scrolling. Why does that look weird on my scrolling thing? Up, I guess I got to fix it. But the scrolling thing down below, there's I want to say like 4 or 5 teams that went to nationals, all lost in the semi-pro world and like throughout the country. And like seeing that stuff, it's like wow, that's interesting. I didn't know the you know Tom Bill beat the Texas Red Cats or something like that. I forget the names now, but yeah, just there's been a lot of upsets, and I feel it's just the landscape changing. I feel it's just people recruiting, getting their
Yeah.
players, and changing. And like the biggest thing is, I feel like you have to as a team, you have to recruit non semi-pro guys, like recruit people leaving colleges and high schools, and you know even like the biggest thing and kind of like a cheat code is Votech people. A lot of times people go to Votech, they don't go to college, but they want to still play football. So like Jeremy Chumak we talked about earlier, he was a Vote guy, and like those are the people. I remember that actually that Gladiator team that I had, probably half that team went to went to a Votech school. So like when you're recruiting, you attack those type of schools. I feel like you just get a lot more players. So that's like some advice to anybody watching as an owner. If you're still watching, I know we still have 7 people on right now, so that's pretty cool. But like yeah, just like recruiting as owners, I just want the players to really understand like we don't stop as an owner. Like you're every single day you're doing something.
I wake up to it. I go to sleep to it. Like sometimes I don't sleep. Like it's the game is changing. Like I really hope if I were to say anything to owners right now, the trends are moving. The young guys when they look at a team, they need to see like more media presence. That's the biggest thing going on right now. Media presence. How does their media look? Who are the coaches? You know, where do they come from? Numbers is very big game with these players. And a lot of guys that you get, I know that there's been this big complaint in semi-pro about recycle players. And quite frankly, to deplete that, honestly, for me, what I would say is, if you are going to recycle players, see what they're good at. See, you know, their strengths and weaknesses, and if you can move them around. Sometimes players are just moving around or being recycled because they haven't found their home.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's not always on, you know, the organizational aspect or the owner aspect. Sometimes everything is not a good fit, just like at work. In life, everything's not a good fit. So if I left anything with that, sometimes following the trend or even trying to revitalize certain things is going to work out best for this year.
Yeah. Well said. And there's times I remember, I'm going to say when I was with the Hurricanes, I think there had to have been, there was one year where like I lost a lot of players, had to rebuild. And I think every single one of those players came back at some point, because when teams leave, they think the grass is greener elsewhere. But if you're running a great organization and you're doing it the right way, they're going to come back. And, you know, I kind of feel like that with, you know, what's going on with even like the league-wise, like they're going to want to come back because they're going to realize that like, oh, we made the wrong decision. And I think people, they want to be around people who work hard workers, and positive people, which you guys have right now with a staff. You guys have a lot of hard workers, a lot of positive people. Throw a lot of F-bombs, but other than that, you guys, you got the foundation in place, and it's just really what's going to happen after that. How big of a house is that going to be built on that foundation? It's kind of like a good analogy, I guess. I don't know how good of an analogy that is, but
I mean, if I could build a mansion, I would.
Right.
You know?
As long as it's got a ring on the very top, right? That's all you care about for the.
I mean, the ring is not. I know for everybody, ring chasing is the biggest thing right now. Like Bisetti, if you don't know, ring chasing is a big thing for everyone right now. But I promise people, the reward of playing on a team, even if it's not for the ring, you don't get the ring, would be so much better. Granted, Chargers, if we get a ring this year, I promise y'all we would party. But still, the reward is much better. The journey is always better. Sometimes people have to understand that when you're chasing after something, it's not always going to be the way that you imagine it. If you know how to stay in your own lane, the journey will go the right way. But when you try and go follow, it will never benefit you in the end.
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe it does. But for me personally, I've never seen it.
Yeah.
To this day.
Yeah. And I do feel that having a strong base and a solid, I always say it starts from the top down, and having that strong leadership from the very top, that's what makes teams successful. And you can't just think you are a leader. Like, you need to just do it and be a leader. And that even goes to like players who are just starting out. Like, if you're not a captain, don't not be a leader. Like, be a captain without a title, and earn your spot as a captain maybe the year later, or for your team every week you can have honorary captains. Like, you know, if everybody's a leader on your team, then that'll be great. That positivity, people always stepping up, people always like getting people to do stuff. Like, obviously not everybody can be a leader because there's nobody to follow them, but you want that leader mentality and that growth mindset with players. And, you know, you can get that's going to be what really makes teams successful. And ring chases, they're going to be, I mean, everybody wants to win a ring, but honestly, as you said, I started playing in 2003. I won my first ring in 2010. It did not happen right away. It takes time, and you have to just grow with the squad that you have and build what you have and just keep getting better every single year. And like for me, my motto is I want to make today better than yesterday. That's how I live. And every single day, I want today to be better than yesterday. Does it work all the time? No. I mean, there's a lot of days my days are shit, and yesterday was a lot better. But I know tomorrow's going to be easier because today was so shitty that tomorrow's going to be an easy day to make better. So that's like a good mindset to have, just like going forward. And Coach Munoz, I know that was a great season. The first ECFL championship, we So Ivan, coach from the CT Falcons. I don't think I ever beat him, so I'm gonna have to maybe jump on a team when build another team, I guess, just to beat him. No, just kidding. But yeah, he beat us in the first ever championship in 2017. I think we lost 20-7, I think it was, or 20-6, or some. I don't really remember my losses. I remember my wins. You tell me what my championship games, I'll tell you the scores, all those. But the losses, they hurt bad.
Back in your mind,
Yeah,
don't
they
you?
just go. It's like I mean, I got one point where I was just losing every championship game I played. I was like, "What's going on with me? I can't win the big game." It was, yeah. I was even when I was coaching high school. It was like we made the Super Bowl, went to Gillette Stadium, we got our asses kicked in 2 games. You're like 2 straight years. We're like, what's going on? And then not only that, but I was also losing my semi-pro. I was like, I'm losing every championship I'm in. I'm making it, just not winning a championship. So it's so hard to win, and that's why I tell people if you win, it's so special, and you'll never forget that feeling. But my best memories are games that or seasons that I had with the people I was with, and that's kind of what it all really comes down to is just being around good people, having that atmosphere for the people to uh, go have fun, play a game, and the game of football is such a great sport, and no other sport out there where you have 11 people doing exactly what they need to do to be successful, and that's what football really comes down to. And nice, and I get Jeff on, Coach. Yes. So Coach Jeff Array, he just messaged, but he's been with me forever coaching, and he when I started the Marshfield, he was there. He just posted on the chat, so I just had to give a shout out to him. So, um, but other than that, I feel like we've talked a lot about football and kind of like on and off the field. Anything you want to add for the game coming up that you have on the 15th? Anything else?
Honestly, the only thing that I could add is that, if you're not rooting for the Chargers, I don't know what you're doing at this point. You see what I could bring to the table. You see what the kids are bringing to the table. So, I mean, we're excited to have everybody. So, that's going to be a fun weekend. If you want to see us, we have our game on Saturday at 1 o'clock kickoff time. And then if you want to come and have some fun with us, come meet us right at Broadway Station. We're going to go all the way up to Andrew for the St. Patrick's Day Parade. Come and get some nice beads, get some candy, bring the children, and have a good time. Our weekend's going to be jam-packed, and of course we'll have ECFL flag right on the side of the truck, so it's us.
Love that.
We hope to represent well.
Now, are you on the grill again?
Yes, I will be on the grill this weekend.
What are you cooking?
Hot dogs, hamburgers. I've been kind of thinking, do I want to pull out my curry chicken or my jerk chicken? I don't know. It might be something. I have a little bit of a Caribbean background, so you never know.
Love that. My buddy, I don't know if he's on, but Juan Frazier, one of my really good friends, played with me forever. He'll only play for me unless I don't coach. Now he went to the Admirals and won last year with them, but he makes the best jerk chicken. He's Jamaican, obviously, so he loves jerk chicken, and it's so good. He turned me on to it. So, yeah, jerk chicken
he
is.
needs to come to the home opener and bring a pan.
Right, exactly. I should have him come by and do that. So that'll be good. Other than that, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we should chat about. So, what do you think would be a successful season for the league? Like, how would you look at it as like a league as a whole? Because as a commissioner of a league, I don't want this being like, I want people who want the league to succeed. So, what do you think?
Success for the league. I think, of course, I kind of said some of that stuff in the ECFL league meeting, but I think we're getting there. We have a lot of new, fresh ideas coming out. We're implementing everything you said you were going to do, or anything you surprised us and said you were going to do, you did. Fresh minds, basic same rules, and making comp fair. I think that a lot of times, and what I kind of seen from, I guess we'll say the forums, because I'm not sure the accuracy, so let me add allegedly. sometimes just making things fair, schedules fair, because the main thing that happens in this business, like, everybody is looking at what the other person is doing and what this place is doing, what that's doing. And I think that it honestly, like you said, starts from the top. If we have this spring season, which I know is going to jump off and do marvelously, I think that everything should kind of fall in line together. And we're getting there. I think that people need to see more of it, which we're getting to that point, but I know we're all kind of like getting our bearings in. So they just need to sit back and watch, and they will be just as amazed as the rest of us are.
Exactly.
They'll
I've
be
it's like I said, I got into a tough situation because I came in, I think like February 6th or something like that was a date, and then I went on vacation February 14th for a week. Then I come back, and 3 days later, everybody was like making announcements. I'm like, I haven't been here. Like, just relax a little bit. So, it was, kind of tough and disappointing because I thought, you know, thought we were doing things the right way, and I feel the last couple days just with what's going on has been really really good, and um, I've been talking to a lot of other teams. A lot of things look positive. So even if it's not 2025, 2026 is going to be absolutely amazing for the league, both spring and summer. So I always try to, like my buddy Frazier, when he found out I was commissioner, he was like, I want to be part of you when you expand west because I know you're going to do that because that's how you think. And I'm like, I just got this. Let me relax a little bit, see what's going on.
exactly.
Yeah, I'm like, let me just do me and get this league because at that point I just want to get a spring schedule together because that's kind of what we're looking to get. And but I was like, let me just settle in a little bit, get my stuff rolling, and get going. And so that I feel like this right here, the podcast, would be something that can be huge. What do you think? How do you think it's been so far? Do you think there's anything I could do differently or?
I think the podcast has been great so far. I know it's your first one, so you're doing amazing. You're asking all the right questions. You're hitting it home. So hopefully we could keep building this platform. Um, Personally, I've watched you in the forums. You're definitely giving them responses, which I know the people have to hear from you as well. So I think that's important for people to also see a commissioner also responding, because a lot of these guys are not used to that. It's just like a up in the air kind of situation, but you've kind of been giving into that, but giving the accurate answers. You know what I mean? And you don't get that a lot in this business. You just kind of have to assume or just go off of word of mouth. No, you give the actual answers, and I think that's important for people to see. Like, I hate to say it, but I have to endorse Facchetti because like everybody's like, you do all these endorsements. No, I have to endorse Facchetti. Like, you've really done your job in a matter of like a few weeks, and you just dipped your feet right in the water and said, "I'm gonna go swim." And I think you're doing great. I don't really see anything, wrong. I can't say anything. I mean, but again, I would tell you. But like,
Right. Well, thank you though. I appreciate it. I know that when I first met you, we had no clue who each other were, and you're like, "Well, what are you gonna do for me?" I was like, "I don't even know yet. Like, I gotta get my feet wet. I don't even know what I'm doing." So it was really cool to really just. I wanted to, like, I know I can. I know no one's gonna work harder than me. I'm gonna work as hard as I can to, grow this to be where we want to go. And it's hard to be someone that not many people that like you didn't really know who I was, but it's like if I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, and that's the only thing I can promise you is that I promise no promises. I think that's a song by somebody, but so I promise like
but that's the thing.
yeah
That is the thing. People just have to see it. And I think that's kind of the name of the business right now. If we don't see it, then we don't believe it. And I could understand, with all the politics out here. I think at this stage of the game, like I say to everybody, like we were talking about earlier, the rankings. I never get mad at rankings. I just have to prove myself now, and that's going to be more fun for me than it is for you, because all you get to do is watch. You can't really be a part. So
right.
that's what you're doing. You're showing and you're proving. Now, whether people get on board or they don't, that's a loss on their part. Oh
So
well.
one thing that I'll let you know now because I was going to launch it when the season starts, but I actually have a ranking system that the college system would use. All you gotta do is input the scores of each week, and it basically populates the rankings of all the teams in our league. But I'm also going to rank other leagues that are out there too, just in the Northeast for now. And if it happens to grow, then I'll do that. But I'm going to be having a ranking system where it's all going to be based on numbers, and there's one variable in there. The variable is what I would suggest the ranking. So I'll talk to people, hey, who do you think's number one team, and then I'll put in like rankings. And that's the only variable that actually goes in place, and then based on scores and everything, it's a really cool system. I put it together like 8-9 years ago, and I did it, and people loved it, and then I got busy with life and kids, and I just stopped. I think COVID hit actually. I stopped doing it after COVID, and just kind of, COVID was
But
weird.
it's better that a ranking system is coming from you versus like random people who people don't know making rankings, and it's like, are we really taking this to heart? Like,
Right.
I mean, I laugh at that. Like, if somebody that's been in the business for a while that actually knows all aspects, it makes sense.
So this is I don't want that one that says some teams. I don't want on there. Let's go to ECFL Spring. So I actually have. So this is not obviously I have to update it, but I don't know if you can see that right
Yeah, the
there.
screen's a little bit white. Okay.
Yeah, let's do this right here. So I actually have. I can get two people. So I have a whole. If you look at the actual live, but it goes. I have all the rankings in there. Probably can't. I'll show you later. But I have all the rankings in there. All you gotta do is input the scores, the team name, the scores, and everything will auto populate. And that gives like a true league ranking. And not only that, but it'll also give a true New England ranking. And I think it's a feature I'm going to implement, and hopefully people like it, and it turns into something. And I'll be revealing them every Wednesday on who the rankings are. And like I said, if I can do highlights and stuff, I'll be doing highlights. And I just have a lot of. I love to be able to talk to like the plays of the week as well. And like another thing I want to implement as a commissioner is I want to get, let's just say there's MVP of the season, right? So spring MVP. What I want to do is I want to get all the owners and coaches to be like, hey, who was the best player? Who would you give the MVP of the game for? And everybody gives me an MVP of the game. And then at the end of the season, looking at things, I'll do like a Heisman race, I guess. I'll be like doing that here, and I'll have like, here's Joe Smith that looks to do this, and here's Bobby Boucher who's. I just kind of want to bring that camaraderie in the league together, so people start knowing people's names, and it's out there. Like, if you can build that camaraderie with as a league as well, I think we can get a really good. I think it'll be a really big advantage for us as a league having. Then I'm not going to name an MVP until the banquet, and I'll have 3 MVPs, like nominations. It's like, hey, it's going to be one of you 3, and then the actual nomination or the winner will be announced at the banquet. So those are kind of like some of the ideas that I take a look at. Coach Munoz Falcons took a year off. We shouldn't be ranked. I ranked you because I know what you can do, and it's you, and I haven't beat you in my life, so I ranked you high. So I should take you off and put the charges there. So no,
No bias. No bias.
the Falcons just say we shouldn't do. We just have to play who was in front of us week 1. Love that week to week.
They made it tough year though, but you know
Yeah.
what? A lot of the teams that are coming back, I cannot wait to see what they do.
Hmm. It's going to
Cannot
be
wait to see.
it's going to be a great year. I know we have a lot of good owners, a lot of good people. It's just going to be great to work with you guys, and I look forward to really having a dominant 2025. I think that we have some really good teams. Some young teams stepping up. You got like the Ducks, who are another young team that getting better. You guys. I'm interested. I don't know much about the Bulldogs, but by looking at things, they seem to be organized. Seem to be a good squad. So I think we're going to have a very good. Very good league with a lot of guys. I don't know much about the Raiders, but Connell's doing a great work. I'm watching what he's doing out there for the youth and everything. Like, I love what all the owners are doing. There's no like idle owner. Everybody's working hard to get their team to be great and to just kind of work within communities as well. And that's what I think this is really all about ultimately. So very, very excited to see that and look forward to what we can do as a squad. So
Our squad right now, all of us in the league, we kind of looking a little nice. I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know. It's gonna be some fun times for City.
it's gonna
We
be
got a
great.
lot to
Yeah.
talk about.
It's gonna be a great year. I'm excited. Listen, I have some big stuff for this year. I just have to show you guys, implement it, and just make sure you guys are, love to see what you guys think about it. And I want to be better. Like, I'm always open to criticism. So if it's something like, hey, you have a face for the radio, so get off the podcast or wear a mask or something, I'll do that. Like, just let me know. But if they say I just want, what can be better? Like, what can this show weekly, like, what can we do to be better? And like, I'm always going to find a way to get better. So like, if there's anything I can do, I'll never get mad at somebody for saying something about me. I'm always taking that and like, okay, great. Let me see what I can do to make it better. And that's kind of like what I would love. Like what I did want to do is I want to put a graphic up. I made a great graphic for you, and it's gonna be a couple seconds on here, but I'll throw it on the board. I'll throw it right here. So you'll see on the live stream, I actually had like a big opening for you, and then the whole thing was happening, and it's like, oh no, I can't get this thing on. It's like 10 minutes later, I found out, but I gotta hit the go live button on YouTube. But that's the picture of you that I don't know if you saw it yet, Bailey, but I had like your profile picture on Facebook, but I have like Chargers and the as a football spirals, and yeah, there it is now on there. So it's really neat. So I had that just so you can, that I was gonna introduce you to like that, and then I also had like your name on the underneath you, so people knew who I was talking to, and that thing came out to like white. And I couldn't like be blocking your face, so I'm like, I can't do that. So I have some ideas. It's gonna take a little bit to get where I want to be with this podcast, but I think anything to do is step it up a notch. But having highlights would be great. Having like recapping scores, bringing people on, chatting with them. Those are like all the ideas I have with this, and I think this podcast can really take off and be a show that everybody's gonna want to watch. And I'm thinking 8:30 might be a bad time on Wednesday because a lot of teams practice Wednesday nights, but we'll see what happens. See if I make any changes.
You might just have to do like a Friday night light special because not a lot of people practice on Fridays.
That's a good point. A lot of them are doing, other things on Friday nights, which as owners we don't like to know about, but they do. And,
even Monday nights, you never know.
Yeah, well, I couldn't. Yeah, right. They do it every night, but I couldn't do. I can't do Monday because I'm gonna need some time to cut up the film and stuff like that. That's why I picked Wednesday. I think it'll be a good time to do it, but it'll be filmed. It'll be posted on my YouTube, and if you guys who are listening, please like and subscribe to my channel because that helps me. I think that's what the YouTubers do. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm trying to learn how to do all that. So like, subscribe. I also have a Facebook. I did not put this link in my Facebook page. I think I did actually. But like my Facebook as a Football Spirals, and it's just gonna get better from here. This is probably an awful show. I apologize if I was that bad, but
we did our very best.
We did our best, and we're gonna get better. I'm sorry for being 10 minutes late. I'm someone that always likes to be punctual, so I apologize. And the steal from the Link show. Oh, is there a Link show? I don't know. Does Link do a show, Jeff? He's posted that on here, but I don't know. Do you know if a guy named Link? I think Linko. Does he do a show? The Linko show, I think maybe. But yeah.
I did not know.
Well, obviously he's doing a bad job marketing. If I don't know about that, so Link, if you're watching this, do a better job marketing. So I know that you have a show every week. But yeah, I'm just gonna try to keep growing this to be better, and I'm not gonna just be exclusive ECFL. I'm gonna talk about semi-pro as a whole, and I think it's a good way to bring communities together, the football teams together, the players together, and just kind of grow. Oh, used to, that's right. So just kind of grow together. But yeah, I think that it's been off an hour and a half. It's 10 o'clock. Anything else you want to share with before we take off?
Well, before we take off, first of all, thank you for SETI. I'm glad to be the first one on the show.
Happy to have you. Yeah.
To my guys, if you're watching, I hope that you guys were paying attention in offensive meeting tonight. Don't think I didn't remember. And just look out for us, Boston Chargers, East Boston Memorial Stadium. If you want to see us, anything like that, look out for us this year. We hope that this is our year to, bring it on home. Boston is the bridge.
Boston, you're our home, right? So we got this. Boston's the bridge. But
Love
this
that dirty water.
love that dirty water. I think you guys will do great. Like I said, you have a great staff. Just keep everybody together. Adversity is going to happen. I say that before games even start. Adversity is going to happen. Don't buckle under pressure. Don't let the adversity get to you. And then if you're doing really well, when you're doing really well, Bailey, I always tell people, don't get complacent. Always try to get better, right? And complacency is one of the worst things you can have in football, because you just assume you're going to win or whatever, and then next thing you know, you get your ass kicked. Like Detroit Lions, I'm not saying they were complacent, but they were playing the Washington Redskins. Like, oh, we're going to kill this team. It's the Redskins, and Commanders. Wow. That's how old I am, right? Playing the Commanders, they're going to kill the team and whatever, and Jaden Daniels showed them, what's up. So, like, never get complacent. Always strive to get better. And players out there as well, it's your job to, like, we, as I said, semi-pro, we're not with you guys every single day. So, as players, get out there, work out yourself, go to the gym, get accountability partners, get better yourself. So when you're showing up to practices, you're going to be good. And don't show up to practices high and drunk, because nothing gets done that way. Well, high, I guess a lot of people do that nowadays, but drunk, don't show up drunk. But that being said, Bailey, I want to thank you so much for being on. I thought this was a very, very good show, and we had a lot of fun. Look forward to doing this many, many more times with you. And we will get rolling. I'm going to play my song to end it, I think. And, I think that would be the end of the show. And I want to thank you so much. It's going to be something to always know, like the first one, it was us, and we dominated it. So you did
of course. Thank you so much, Pizzetti.
Thank you. We did a great job. And we will, that being said, I guess we'll just take off. So all the people listening and watching, thank you for that. If you're not watching, or if you're watching it later, you can still shoot me a message. I'll still answer any questions for you, or even shoot me some questions. I'll answer them in the beginning of next show, and we can do that. But every Wednesday night, 8:30, not 8:40. I promise I'll be on time, and I'll get this rolling every week now. I thought if you guys like it, if you guys hate it, let me know you hate it, and I will stop it. But I feel like I'm going to do a couple episodes before that happens. So, Bailey, once again, thank you. You've been a pleasure. Good luck this season. Look forward to watching you guys. I'll be catching the second half on Saturday the 15th, maybe the first half if I can finish work a little quicker. So see what I can do with that. But thank you so much, and we will chat later on.
All right. See you later. Bye, everybody.
Awesome. Thanks. And then I'm trying to play my music, but do you know what's funny is I left my music. Here we go. Play it now. I was like, oh no, I took it out because I was trying to do other things here. Oh, we're learning this here, but thank you guys. I appreciate the time, and we'll see you guys next week, same time, same place.
Stadium lights glisten like disco balls. Quarterback flows dodging D-line walls. End zone dreams in the hearts of teams. Hustle on the field, ain't no in-betweens. As the football spirals, fate unravels. Heartbeats sink, players travel. Grind don't stop, whistle blows echo. Field warriors, the heroes echo. Cleats dig deep, turf beneath. Receivers leap like a midnight thief. Touchdown dances, crowd in trances. Game time magic, endless chances. As the football spirals, fate unravels. Heartbeats sink, players travel. Grind don't stop, whistle blows echo. Field warriors, the heroes echo. Coaches with plans, plays drawn in sand. Grit and sweat, team tighter than a band. Hail Mary hopes, defenders in scopes. Victory's a taste, better than a rope. Cheers rain loud, pride in the crowd. Moments freeze, memories are vowed. Helmet to helmet, clash and conquer. Legends born, others left to ponder. As the football spirals, fate unravels. Heartbeats sink, players travel. Grind don't stop, whistle blows echo. Field warriors, the heroes echo. Dig deep, turf beneath. Receivers leap like a midnight thief. Touchdown dances, crowded trances, game time magic, endless chances. As the football spirals, fate unravels, heartbeats sink, players travel, grind don't stop, whistle blows echo, field warriors, their heroes echo. Coaches with plans, plays drawn in sand, grit and sweat, team tighter than a band. Hail Mary hopes, defenders in scopes. Victory's a taste, better than a rope.